Welcome viewers. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un warned he is ready to use his nuclear weapons in potential military conflicts with the United States and South Korea, state media said on Thursday. As he unleashed fiery rhetoric against rivals he says are pushing the Korean Peninsula to the brink of war. Kim's speech to war veterans on the 69th anniversary of the end of the 1950-53 Korean War was apparently meant to boost internal unity in the improvised country and amid pandemic-related economic difficulties. While Kim has increasingly threatened his rival with nuclear weapons, it's unlikely that he would use them first against the superior militaries of the US and its allies, observers say. Our armed forces are completely prepared to respond to any crisis, and our country's nuclear war deterrent is already ready to mobilize as absolute power deterrence, exercy and swiftly in accordance with its mission, Kim said on Wednesday's speech, according to the official Korean Central News Agency. He accused the United States of demonizing North Korea to justify its hostile politics. He said US South Korea military drills targeting North Korea shows the US double standards and gangster-like aspects because it brands North Korea's routine military activities and apart reference to its missile tests as provocations of threats. Kim also alleged the new South Korean government of President Yoon Suk Yeol is led by confrontation maniacs and gangsters who have gone further than provide South Korea conservative governments since taking off in May. The Yoon government has moved to strengthen Seoul's military alliance with the United States and booster its capability to neutralize North Korean nuclear threats, including primitive strikes capability. Talking about military action against our nation, which possesses absolute weapon that they fear the most. The posturers is very dangerous suicidal action, Kim said. Such dangerous attempt will be immediately punished by your powerful strength, and the Yoon Suk Yeol government and his military will be annihilated. Moon Hon-suk is deeply spokesperson at the South Korean Defense Ministry, retired Thursday on earlier position that South Korea has been boosting its military capability and joint defense posture with the United States to cope with escalating North Korean nuclear threats. South Korea Joint Chief of Staff said the military maintains a firm readiness. In April, Kim said North Korea could primitively use nuclear weapon if threatened, saying they would never be conflicted to the single mission of the war deterrent. Kim military has also test-launched nuclear-capable missiles that places both the US mainland and South Korea within striking distance. US and South Korean officials have repeatedly said in the past few months that North Korea is ready to conduct its first nuclear test in 5 years. Kim is seeking greater public support as his country's economy has been battered with pandemic-related border shutdowns, US-led sanctions and his own mismanagement. In May, North Korea also admitted to its first COVID-19 outbreak. Though the scale of illness and death is widely disputed in the country that lacks the modern medical capability to handle it. Kim's rhetoric inflates external threats to justify its military-focused and economically suggesting regime, said Lee Flake easily, the professor at Ewha University in Seoul. North Korea's nuclear and missile programs are in violation of international law, but Kim tries to depict his destabilizing arms buildup as righteous effect to self-defense. Experts say North Korea will likely intensify threats against the United States and South Korea as the allies prepare to expand summarized exercise. In recent years, the South Korean and US militaries have cancelled on downside some of their regular expertise due to concern about COVID-19 to support new stalled US-led diplomacy aimed at convincing North Korea to give up its nuclear program in return for the economic and political benefits. During Wednesday's speech, Kim said his government recently set tasks to improve its military capability more speedily to respond to military pressure campaigns by its enemies, suggesting that he intends to go ahead with the expected nuclear test. But Cheong Song Chang at the private Sejong Institute in South Korea said North Korea won't likely conduct its nuclear test before China, its major ally and biggest aid benefactor, holds its Communist Party convention in the autumn. He said China worries the North Korean nuclear test could give the United States a justification to boost its security partnerships with its allies, that it could not use to check Chinese influence in the region. North Korea recently said it is moving to overcome the COVID-19 outbreak amid plummeting fever cases. But experts say it's nuclear if the country can lift its strict restriction soon because it could face a viral resurgence. Later this year, during Wednesday's event, Kim veterans and others didn't wear masks, state media photos showed. On Thursday, North Korea reported 11 fever cases, a huge drop from the peak of 4 lakh a day in May. North Korea has rejected US and South Korean offers for medical relief. It has also said it won't return to talks with the United States unless it first abandoned a hostile policies on North. It an apparent reference to US-led sanctions and US-South Korean military. Abradas report, FOSAAC TV.